Hey guys, good evening. I'm just starting up the live session. I hope I'm pretty much audible as well as visible. Right, just do let me know if I'm audible as well as visible, guys, in the chat. Right, let me know if I'm pretty much visible. Okay, great. So I hope I'm audible to you guys. So I welcome everybody. Good evening. Apologies for a slighter delay. So right, that's what our intent is. So we want to start with our today's discussion, which is pretty much into data analysis in 3 weeks, and we'll be doing some Pandas questions today. Okay, so our objective is to solve a few good questions. Okay, so as we have studied quite good amount of topic, right? So we have done some good questions already. So today the objective is to solve few such questions and then try to see how exactly we can, probably find out the solving procedure of those questions, right? So we'll see those questions basically. That's pretty much our agenda for the day, right? And also, as I've said, we'll be doing the questions, so you can definitely ask a lot of your questions as well. So our objective is to make sure that you understand at the end of the day what we are trying to do, okay? And that's pretty much what we'll be looking at. But eventually, if you get stuck in some point and if you have any other questions as well, so meanwhile we've discussed quite good amount of things. So we've discussed about list Python and then tuples, dictionaries, so a lot of good things, right? So anything which you feel that you have questions in on whatever topics we have discussed so far, please feel free to tell me those questions, and we'll definitely try to take up that. Okay. Great. So meanwhile, before starting, as always, I'll quickly introduce myself and I'll tell you a bit about myself, and maybe you can try to relate with that. So my name is Arpit Jain, and I'm a senior, I would say, lead data scientist myself. I've been into industry for almost 9 years, into multiple domains: banking, automobile, manufacturing. So a lot of things, guys, I've done. Okay. So I mean, any questions regarding any of the fields or anything regarding data science or anything in general, also which you want to discuss, right? So we can obviously discuss on those front. Okay. So don't hesitate to ask your questions. I have always encouraged you to ask questions. So we will definitely try to make the session as interactive as possible. Okay. But today's agenda will we have seen a lot of concepts anyway in Pandas. So we'll try to solve a few questions today. I'll give you a gist of breakup of the things, and I'll give you a flavor of the questions which can be asked. Okay. So do let me know if you're able to understand that. But again, so that's about myself. As always, it's pretty much a live session, so I'm monitoring my chat. If any questions arises, any places, guys, so please do let me know in the chat. Okay. Meanwhile, Mahesh, Ali Habib, thank you so much, guys, for joining in and looking forward to your questions in the class. So let's start. Let me pull up the content slide for you just a minute. Let me open that. Let me know if my screen is visible to you guys. I think it should be visible, right? Yeah. So cool. So we are into questions, and then let's try to solve a few questions, and then we'll again come back to the function. So there's a lot of time with us. So we'll again quickly go back, but again for now we'll stick to our agenda for the day. So right now we'll solve the questions. So you have a first question in front of you, but before I'll tell you what exactly it is talking about. So what I'm trying to do here is, guys, I'm trying to create a data frame, okay, and I'm using the format of a dictionary. You can see this. So I'm defining the data here in this dictionary. So in this dictionary, you can see I have 4 key values pair, right? So I have 4 key values pair. So I have name, age, salary, and designation. Okay. So in the name, I have 6 different names, and it's a list of values, right? So I have Arpit, Manish, Joy, Rohit, Virat, Shreya. So I have 6 different values in name, and likewise for all of these names, I have age, I have salary, and I have designation, right? So you can see it's pretty much a kind of an employee mini data, right? So I have 6 different employees, and I have their ages, their salary, their designations, right? So pretty much this information which I'm creating it over data, which is a dictionary for me, right? So it's pretty much a dictionary for me. Now I have created this data frame. Now look at this beautiful looking data frame. So I have this data frame. So I have name, age, salary and designation, right? So I have name, age, salary and designation. And now I have all of these information pretty much in the form of rows and columns, right? So I have all of this in pretty much rows and columns. Now the first question to you is, right? The first question to you is display the name and age of the employees where salary is less than the mean salary. Yeah. So you have a question right in front of you guys. So now here today I would want you to be really active in the chat, and I want you to answer in the chat, okay? I'm not looking for a right or a wrong answer. Just give me the logic, just give me the index, just give me a few of the syntax. That's pretty much fine, okay? But again, be active and give your responses in the chat. Hey Ali, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm pretty good. AB, right? So yeah, I'm pretty good. Thank you so much. Okay, Mahesh has a question. Del df6 has del as prefix, while pop and drop are suffix in pandas. Why? Suffixes are objects in oops. What are prefixes? Okay. Okay, that's a good question. So I would say, see, it's a very good observation actually. So after suffix is nothing but dot. Okay. So by dot I mean the object of that particular thing. So for example, here I'll just go back. So where do we see del and pop, right? So pretty much del and pop should be here. Where did it go, man? I don't know where did it go. Anyways, I'll just check it. Right. So we have it here. So yeah. So I'll tell you. So whatever dot operator is there. So df dot pop. So pop is a object of df. Okay. So in OOPS concept we have a concept of objects, right? So pop is an object of data frame. Okay. So df in df where pop is one of the object which I can call it as. So objects are always referred by using a suffix like a dot operator. Like you can see a dot, not dot operator, more like a dot, right? But again, now in terms of this del, which is a prefix, it's a function. Okay, it's an inbuilt function which we have. So in this is the reason why we call this as a keyword, as more of a function for me. But again, this is one way of writing the function. Also, we have some other things like, for example, sum, right? Sum is again an inbuilt function we have. So sum is a function. So like this, we call it form of a parenthesis, right? So this is one way of calling sum. So we cannot write df dot sum, okay? Because sum is not an object of df. Sum is a function. So functions are written like this, and you pass df of your say 6, right? So then you'll get the sum of your object here. But again, so you cannot call df dot 6 dot sum. It will not work. It is not. Sum is not an object. Sum is a function. Likewise, del here is more of a keyword. So it's a unique. It's a, I would say, an exempted representation. So del, like def you write. So we write def and then the thing. It's more of a inbuilt keyword or inbuilt function which we have. So we represent del like this. And likewise, so whatever prefix is more of a function. Whatever suffix is more of an object. So that's how we define. Okay. But again, going back to the question, which is this, yeah. So this is a question in which I have to display the name and the age of the employees where salary is less than the mean salary, guys. Quickly go ahead. I'll give you a minute's time in this, and I would want you to give me an answer for this, okay? Again, as you know, I'm not looking for a right or a wrong answer here. I'm just looking for your approach, okay? Just tell me how exactly you can solve this. And see, again, for this, basically, we have pretty much things in place. So it's more like the things like so we have covered. So we have covered lock, we have covered slicing, we have covered filtration and all that, right? So we want to see all of those things. Okay, Mahesh has a question. So del is a function, sum is a function. Yes, sum is a function. I would say del is a method. Okay, but again, don't get confused by these terminologies. Just for a namesake, assume that it's a function. Okay, but again, yeah, it's a method basically. But it's like a del, like def. These are the inbuilt methods, and sum is a function because functions are represented by parentheses basically. But del is not represented by a parenthesis. It's more of a keyword. right? So it's a method for me in Python, but again, don't get confused by these terminologies. Try to understand how we can represent them. So there are some exceptions. So del is one of those. So we write this in form of a method kind of a thing. So, but again, don't get confused. Okay. Cool, guys. So again, the question still remains. So look at the question very carefully, guys. So I would want you to answer this. I'll give you the answer, so don't worry about it. I'll break up and solve this question for you. But again, it's very simple question. It's very simple indexing, slicing kind of a problem, right? But again, the thing is, it's not that easy. So we have to combine a lot of things, and then eventually we'll look into this. But again, guys, I would want you to definitely answer this question. Right, so here it's like we would want you to print or display the name and the age of the employees where salary is less than the mean salary. Guys, if this is a question, if this is a session on questions, so I would want you to solve this. There's no point of me solving everything, right? So give me some answers. Give me some answers. Okay, so meanwhile, since nobody is responding, so we'll try to solve this on my own. So I'll just show it to you how exactly we can break this and solve it. Maybe I'll solve the first one for you. Okay. So now here, what I want is display the name and age. Okay, so this is most of the generally this is like a final thing which I want. Okay, now what I want to display for the name of the age of the employee is where. So I have a where thing. So this is my filtration criteria. Where salary is less than the mean salary, right? So where salary is less than the mean salary. So basically here is like this. So now I have this salary column, right? There is some mean salary of this. So first I have to calculate the mean of my salary. So now what I'll do is I'll just write the steps, like more of a lingual steps which I can follow to solve this column, right? So let's try to put up some steps. What I first want is obviously to find the salary less than the mean, I need to first find the mean, right? If you don't know the mean, how can I do the filter? Pretty simple logic, right? So first step is obviously I need to find the mean salary, right? Pretty simple. Now, second thing is, now once I know this mean salary, what I can do is, I can find the salary. So filter criteria to find needed salary. This is where this thing will come, salary is less than mean salary. This is what I want. So I'll apply this logic here, right? Now once this is done, so this will give me the indexes. Eventually this will give me what? So this step will give me row indexes where filter criteria met. Cool. Now third, once I have those row indexes, I can simply select the needed columns, right? Now at this stage, I can simply select the required columns, right? I can do that. This is what the basic step looked to me. This is how it should be approaching. So this is a very basic thing which is looking like to me, right? So simple है, यही चीज़ करते हैं. तो सबसे पहले again, so Mahesh very well tried. So we have an answer from Mahesh, and he said that obviously to find the mean, so mean of salary, something like that. But again, I'll tell you, mean is actually not a function directly available. Mean is more of an object we have. Okay, so we have to use. But again, we have mean directly available in NumPy. So we can call NumPy np.mean. But again, as a mean directly is not available. So we have to call mean as a more of a operator for me. Okay, so mean more like a object for me. But again, for example, now, so df, so सबसे पहले if you have to find the salary का mean, right? So how to access the salary column? I can do this salary, right? Pretty much fine. I can call my df of salary. So this is my what? Df of salary. So I have all the df salary value here, correct? Pretty much here. Now to find the mean, how can I do that? Simply put mean here. So mean is nothing but a function which we have. Okay? It's not, if we write mean like this, right? For example, mean here. So it will give me an error because there is no, I would say, function available as mean is not defined. Okay? Mean is not an inbuilt available function I have. So mean is, I cannot write mean of salary. Mean is a method. Mean is an object. So we have to call mean like this. Okay, so dot mean. So if we do it dot mean like this, now I have the mean value, correct? So first step done. First step done. I have the mean salary now. Now on top of this, what I want, filter criteria to find the needed salary, which is like salary is less than the mean salary, right? So what I want here is, this is the salary which is like this, right? So I want the salary which is less than this. So here, okay, I want, so this is the salary I could see which is less than the mean salary, and also this one, right? And also this one, and also I have 4 such salaries which is less than the mean salary, correct? So I have 4 such salaries which is less than the mean salary. So now what I want, ultimately what I want is, wherever the salary is less, this is what I want, right? So the logic is df of salary, this column, right? And this should be less than this mean. This is the filter criteria. This is actually the filter criteria we need. But eventually to get the you know, if we do it like this, right? So you can see like this. So now I have the indexes. So basically false, true, 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 false, true, right? So I have implemented this logic, and it is giving me what? It is giving me the row indexes wherever this criteria is met. What are the row indexes? True. So I have 1, 2, 4 and 5. So I have 4 such indexes where this condition is met, right? So now what I want, on those indexes, I want to take what? I want to take only name and age, right? So now how can I do that? You know how to filter out the things. You know the lock thing, right? So I told you df.lock. So this is my filter criteria, right? This is my filter criteria. So keep this is aside for now. Okay. So you have studied df.lock, right? You know df.lock and df.ilock. Anybody is having any confusion in lock or ilock? I have already explained this. Please, if anybody is having any confusion, do let me know. Okay. So in lock we have studied, right? So we have what? So we have the row condition here, and then we have the column condition, right? This is the 2 things which we pass to find the things in lock, right? So for this row condition, we have this, isn't it? So this entire row condition is exactly this, right? So this is where I'll be getting the indexes. This is what I want, right? So I'll just simply replace this entire condition with my row condition. Clear? Koi issue nahi hai, because this will give me the indexes, right? What are those indexes? 1, 2, 4 and 5. I'll get it from here, right? It's pretty much fine. And now for column condition, what I want, so for the columns, I want name and age, right? So I can pretty much pass name and age. So because if there are 2 distinct names, so I can pass it under a list. So I'll write name and I'll write age. Is anybody having any doubt in this? So now you can see this. I have Manish, Joy, Virat and Shreya. So these are the people, right? Manish, Joy, Virat and Shreya. These are the people whose salary is less than the mean salary, right? And which is the mean salary is 98,000 something, right? So these are the people who are having the less age. I don't want to see the salary. I just want to see the name and age of such people. So I printed name and age, pretty much fine. Any questions here, guys? Anybody is having any question in this problem? I tried to break this to the best I could, but still, if anybody is having any questions, do let me know, guys. I'm happy to again answer this question. Any questions, Mahesh, Ali, AB? Any questions, anybody? Great. So if that is fine, then let's proceed to the next question. Great. So I have, thank you so much, Mahesh, for confirming. Okay, great. So now I have one more question for you. So same data frame. Okay. So we'll work on the same data frame for the all, at least 2-3 more questions, right? So now I have multiple such conditions. Okay. So now I want the name and age of the employees where salary is more than 10,000. Okay. So where salary is more than 10,000, and also one more condition, age is less than 40. Okay. So what I want, age is less than 40, and also I want the salary is more than 10,000. Clear? Making sense? Let's make it 32. Then we'll be able to actually have some tricky thing here. Okay. Less than equal to कर देते हैं यहाँ पे, so will be better. Okay. Cool. So this is what we want. So we want the name and age of the employees where salary is greater than or equal to 10,000, sorry, 100,000, my bad, and age is less than 32. Okay, and age is less than 32. Correct? So this is what my ask is. So quickly guys, take a minute's pause and try to think about this logic and try to give me an answer. Again, a simple problem only, nothing very fancy in this, but again, since now we are adding two filter conditions, not one. We are adding two filter conditions. Okay. Do let me know guys if anybody is having any trouble in solving this. Guys, any responses? Anyone has tried this? We'll again solve it to the best we can. So we'll have it, break up into smaller pieces, and again we'll try to solve it. So don't worry about it. But again, we'll try to make it simple and clear. Okay. So, but again, I would at least want you to try at once. Okay. Okay, we have a response from Mahesh. He says DF of age is less than 32 and DF of salary greater than or equal to 1 lakh. Yeah, pretty much fine. But that's only your filter criteria, right? And eventually you will be putting it on top of lock, or so this will give me just the index, correct? But again, pretty much good attempt, right? So let me complete this entire code for you, right? So now here, as I said, so we'll write the steps. So write the basic steps. The first is we have to find out. So we have two conditions here. So meet. So I have to meet two conditions, right? So in these two conditions, what are the two conditions? So I have the name and age of the salary, where salary is more than 10,000. So sorry, 100,000. So this is my first condition. Salary is greater than or equal to 10,000. This is what I want. Okay. And the second condition is age is less than 32. Right. And all of this is like we want both of them to be true. It's not or, it's and. Okay. So here what I want, and condition. Correct. And को ऐसे भी लिख सकते हैं, and को we can also write in the this format. So both of things are fine. Now this is what my condition says. So once this condition is met, now what I have to do is I have to print what? The name and the age, right? So eventually, and this thing will be giving me the row indexes as always, right? And now after this I'll be selecting the needed columns, correct? So always try to solve the problem inside out. Okay, so what I mean inside out is first try to solve the inner logic first and then try to come out. Always try to solve the queries inside out. If you keep on writing straight away, right? Yeah, it always, once you have the practice, it will be always easier for you to write that way. But again, at this stage, once you are when you are actually practicing the things, right? It's always advisable to write the code inside out. Okay. But again, pretty much I'll just cover this point. Okay, so now here what I want is salary is more than 10,000. So now how can I do that? So how can I access the salary columns? df.salary. So I have df.salary here, right? So this is what df.salary gives. Now what I want, df.salary is greater than equal to 100,000, right? So this is what I want. So I have the indexes true and true. So basically this is my first condition, right? Please keep writing in the middle. Okay, my bad. I think this is not visible. Okay. I think this is fine to you, right? Okay. So now what I'm doing is I have a salary column here. So salary is more than 100,000. So for this alone, I'm getting true and true. So only two conditions are being met. So just quickly verify that yes. So in this case, I have one person Arpit and another person as Rohit. So these are the only two indexes where the salaries are more than or equal to 100,000, right? True. But this is only my first condition. Now what is my second condition? df of age, and this should be less than 32, correct? So now if I do it like this, now I have true and true. So I have only two indexes again, but those are two different indexes. So what are those? 30 and 30, right? So only two indexes, right? So these two have individual row indexes, but now I have to make sure that they both are running together as AND condition, right? So this is my first condition, put it under enclosure. So this is my first condition, right? Now what I want this also to be executed, right? So even this has to be executed at the same place. So this, I'll just write and under this. Okay, pretty much fine. Now if I run it like this, now I'll get the indexes, only one index where both of them are equally valid, and this is, you can see this. So only one index which is 0 where both the values are true. Otherwise for this true, this is false here, so this will be false. And then I have again one true here at third location, which is again third as false for the second one, right? So pretty much fine. So the AND condition now is pretty much set. So now you can ask me why I have put this under enclosure, like a parenthesis, right? Yes, so it's always advisable that if you want to execute one filter criteria together, so just assume that if you're not writing this parenthesis, don't you think that the code will get confused, like whether it has to execute this first or like, you know, like this? It's very confusing code, right? So it's always advisable, this is your one piece of code, right? So put it under enclosure. You want this to be executed together, right? Now this is one piece, and these together is alone another pieces joined by AND, right? So this is how you want to get executed. So always make your code neat. So now once you have done this, you can see this is pretty much true. So I have this code logic. So this is the index where the values are true here. Now again coming back to the same point. So how I filter out the points, always we use lock and iLock, right? But in this case, since we are not passing the indexes, we are passing the criteria or the function directly. So we have to use lock, not the iLock, right? So lock again the same condition. So we have row condition, and then we have the column condition, right? This is what I have in this lock and iLock. So this entire thing is my row condition, isn't it? So I'll just replace this entire thing as my row condition, right? And now I have for the column condition, I'll just check out what all columns I need to print. So I need to print what? So I think I need to print again name and age, right? So yeah, name and age, pretty much name and age. So yeah, so I'll just write name and I'll write age. Cool. So this is what I have. So if I'll run it like this, I'll just get one person name and age where I was seeing this index to be true, right? So this is my first index, and what is that element? So this age is Arpit 30, then 100,000 in engineer, right? So this is what I have it here. So I have one column to be filtered out. Make sense? Instead of parenthesis, can we use square bracket? No, square bracket will not work because square bracket here will act as a list. So I'll show it. That's a good question actually. That's a very good question. I really like this question. I'll show you the difference. Just look at this for now. Okay. Just look at the difference in the results. Okay. So I have this. My bad. So I have this now. Okay. So I have this true. But this is giving me the indexes of wherever the condition is being met. Right. Now I'll simply run the same thing under the thing which you just said, like the square brackets. Right. Now look at the difference. Can you see this? The objective is not, this is not a singular object. If you look at the type of this, right? Look at the type of this. This is something which you need to understand. So this is a list object, okay? This is not your filter object. And if you see a type here, this will give me a core series object. This is a difference. You can see this. You're getting a series object, but here you're getting a list object. So now on top of this, we have to understand like when exactly we want. So here we want the series to be executed, not the list. If you write a list, then it's a problem for you. List here you cannot apply list and list, right? So you want this and condition to be applied on the series object, not on the list object. So this is where you cannot use list here. You have to use parentheses. That's a good question. Okay, great. So we have a question from Rohit. Sir, आप कब live आते हो? Okay. यार रोहित, यहाँ पे for this Geek for Geeks channel, for this playlist, data analysis in 3 weeks, we're pretty much going live at 10 p.m. Okay, so that's our timing. But I hope you guys are aware. So we are having a crash course. So that's more of a crash course for one of our pretty much course which is going live from 9th of April, which is Data Science Live. So I'll be taking that class. But again, for that we have a boot camp kind of a thing which is happening from 24th of March, pretty much from day after tomorrow. Okay, so from day after tomorrow we have 5 days workshop, boot camp. It's a free of cost boot camp happening, and we'll be covering pretty much interesting things. So we'll give you a flavor of needed Python things. We'll solve some hands-on workshop. We'll do some hands-on projects, and then we'll solve the projects also live. We'll see the solutions, and also we'll have some exciting goodies in terms of whosoever participate in the we'll give the homework questions, homework assignments, and we'll solve the assignments also, and then we'll eventually distribute the goodies in terms of scholarships to the Data Science Live course being starting from 9th of April. So stay tuned, guys. So we'll be doing the boot camp from day after tomorrow, so starting at 8 p.m. Okay, so for that boot camp, that'll be starting from 8 p.m. So do not forget to join that boot camp. It's pretty much going live on YouTube. So 3 days will be on YouTube, 2 days will be on Zoom. So on the very last day, we'll also be talking about your perspective of the jobs. So what are different options you have in data science eventually once you do this course, and how you can expect or shape up your professional career accordingly. So all of these things will be part of your boot camp. So it's a 5 days boot camp, 5 hours, 1 hour every day, right? So pretty much straightforward. Cool. But here again, we'll be anyway continuing this, and we'll finish Pandas as quickly as possible. And that's what our agenda would be. Okay. Great. So that's about the question. Any doubts in this question, guys? I tried to break this up as much as possible, and I tried to give you how to kind of approach a problem, right? So isn't it making sense, guys? Isn't it making sense? I hope there isn't any trouble or anything. Right? Great. So let's proceed with the list set of question. What we have it here, I think this is the same data frame, right? Okay, cool. So now again we have a new question here, guys. So same data frame, name, age, salary, and designation. Okay. Now what I want is I want to create a new column. Okay. So here this is not a filter question. It's a different question. So I want to create a new column named as salary after 5. Okay, so the name of the new column is salary underscore after 5, where salary increases by a factor of 1.5. That means that I have to create a new column, salary after 5, and have to increase the existing salary for each of my employees by a factor of 1.5. So I have to multiply 1.5 on each of my individual employees' salary. So a new column will be created here, and for this the name of the column will be salary after 5, right? And the salary for say Arpit would be 100,000 multiplied by 1.5, so it will become 150,000. Likewise 93,000 multiplied by 1.5, or 88,000 multiplied by 1.5. So all of these individual rows has to be multiplied by 1.5, and likewise the values have to be given here, okay, for a new column salary after 5. Cool. You can do that. Simple only, nothing very fancy. I think we should be able to solve this pretty much. I don't see a problem here. Any questions, guys? Guys, quickly take a minute and let's try to come back with a solution on this. It's a simple problem only, nothing very fancy. But again, we need a bit of an attention to obviously solve this for obvious reasons. Quickly, guys, just give me some responses. How will you do that? Give me a wrong answer. I'm okay to take a wrong answer instead of with no answer. Wrong answer is better than no answer, right? Cool guys, quickly tell me what will you do here? Okay, we have an answer from Mahesh. He says salary after 5, so assignment operator, df dot salary multiplied by 1.5. Okay, I'll just replicate what you did. Okay, so there is slight bit of error, but again I'll correct that and I'll exactly do what you have written, and we'll see how it will show. So I'll just first of all simply write what you have written, and I hope you meant the same thing. So df salary after 5, right? So this is gonna be my column name. So pretty much how we gonna assign a new column, right? So df salary after 5, pretty much this is how we gonna be doing it. Now this equal to, what I want to say is, now each of my column, each of my elements in df of salary should be multiplied by 1.5, right? So what Mahesh has given in response is df underscore salary, and in this parenthesis itself he has multiplied by 1.5, if I'm not wrong, correct? So because you have written a square bracket at the end, okay? So to give you a thing, this will give you an error. The reason is, see, first of all, this parenthesis, right? So this parenthesis has to be here, okay? So now because we are accessing the salary with a this is how we access the column, right? So 1.5 is after, once you have the column. So once you have accessed the column, now on this column you have to multiply 1.5. So I mean the placement of your parenthesis was wrong, okay? But still, I mean I won't simply assign it. I'll first run it, okay? Cool. So can you see this? Salary where I think S is small. So now can you see this? Yeah. So I'll just replace this. So pretty much fine, right? So once and we have seen this also. We can obviously multiply whatever I want. We can do an arithmetic operation on the column directly. I can pretty much do that. We have already seen this, right? So pretty much fine. So df salary multiplied by 1.5, pretty much fine. So now if we do it like this, df of salary, now we call df here. You can see this. I have a new column, salary after 5, and where the values are multiplied by 1.5. It's that simple, pretty simple, right? Now, again, now we can solve this is again in a very neat way, okay? How we can do that? So we can obviously see that we have done the lambda functions, right? Haven't we? We have done the lambda functions, right? So how can you solve the same problem in using the lambda? Can you do that? Guys, we have already seen it. We already seen it, right? So lambda apply, right? So we can also solve the same problem using lambda. And again, guys, see, in coding languages, right? So be it Python or SQL, there's no right or wrong answer. Okay? It's more like your approach, right? So there's no right or wrong answer. It's more, there's no right or wrong approach, right? It's more like ultimately, if you're able to achieve the answer, if you're able to get the needed response, right? It's fine whatever approach you take. So don't worry about approach. It's not like your approach is wrong, my approach is right. It's never like that. Okay, it's fine. Everybody's way of thinking is different. But again, the only thing how we judge or how we compare the code is by optimization, right? How optimized your code is, how long it is taking to run your code, right? That is something which we check. But again, that will come in the later stages. But for now, when you're learning Python, when you're learning the data analysis in Python, it's more towards like it's fine of whatever approach you take. So this answer is also pretty much fine. There's no incorrect in it. But again, if the data size is big, there's a huge chances that it will take more time to run. Okay, but it's more of like a for loop kind of an operation which is happening here. So now on top of this, we can also apply the same very logic by using a lambda function. So how can we do it on the lambda function, guys? So you remember the lambda function we talked about, right? So it's an inline function where we can obviously write whatever we want. We can create the function in a single inline way, right? And what is the logic? So what is the syntax of lambda? We've already seen that. So lambda, we write the keyword lambda, right? And in lambda we have to create an arbitrary element, which is say x or say y or z or whatever, right? So we create an arbitrary element x, whatever inside this, and then we have a colon mark. So this is the colon. This is very important. So after this colon, we write the function here. So we write the function whatever we want, and ultimately this is what we need. So this is the syntax of my lambda, right? We can do it in lambda also. So now here, what I pretty much want is, so my, suppose if I'm giving on top of my data frame, so df dot apply. So we want to apply it on all of my rows, right? So apply lambda is something which is like more an alternative to a for loop, but it is way fast than for loop. Okay, so we can do like df apply dot lambda, and we have an arbitrary element x, and in this x, since we are passing this lambda over data frame, right? So data frame become basically my x. Okay, so in this x, now is x is referring to my data frame actually. Okay, so now in this data frame, what I want x, from this I want to access salary, right? So this, from this data frame I want to access salary. And why I'm writing x here? Because now this x is actually referring to what I'm applying this lambda to, right? And this is basically my data frame. So this is how I'll be referring my x here as data frame. So x of salary, and this is where I want this to be multiplied by 1.5. Okay, even this is pretty much fine. Even if I do this, right, I should be getting a salary error. Why am I doing something wrong? This should be, spelling is right at salary. Yeah, it should be fine. Right? What's the problem with that? Okay, pretty much let's see this. So I think I have to give access also. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I just forgot. So yes, obviously we have to give the access also, in terms of, because we want to access the column here, right? So in data frame we have two access, zeros and one. So I have already told you this. So 0 is for rows and 1 is for columns. And by default, if I don't give access, it will take access as 0, right? That's my default value. The reason to that is, here on the 0 axis, which is row, there's nothing called as salary. It's more like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the reason why it gave me an error, because it was not able to find the keyword salary. Right now I have to specify where exactly the function, the function has to figure out, has to see the salary as a keyword, right? And that is where it's basically under the axis 1. So I've just specified axis as 1 here, and now you can see this pretty much the same answer, isn't it? So what I was having it here, it is still giving me pretty much the same answer. So it's actually the same. Again, both the approaches are fine. It's not like my approach is good, your approach is wrong. It's not like that. Ultimately, if you're able to get the answer, pretty much fine. Okay. Now, obviously, we have this answer. So ultimately, we can assign this, right? So we can use the same operator. So we can use this for this value, and now if we see the data frame, pretty much we have the results with us. So we have what we wanted in terms of salary after 5. Cool. Mahesh, thank you so much for attempting this, but I hope you are able to understand the syntax, right? So it's a bit of an error in your syntax, but I hope you are able to get that. And again, obviously, so I understand you're typing it, so it might give you a minute. It's a bit difficult to type anyway, but I hope you are getting the point, right? So it's not like you're not you're confused or anything. Great. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Great. So thank you so much, guys. So I hope this really have clarified few things, and have you are able to understand how to apply the logic. See, again, it's again very simple to keep on watching the videos and stay in your comfort zone, right? But eventually, trust me, once you, even if you know the things, right, it becomes sometimes really difficult to apply the same known things on the exact codes. Trust me on that. And it's not only you who faces the trouble, who faces the heat. It's pretty much applicable to everybody, right? So whosoever is learning, right, they some or the other way they face this problem. So it's fine to have trouble, but it's not fine to not accept it, right? So it's always important to accept those problems. So if you're not able to ultimately solve those questions, so try to do the hands-on, right? So do not just keep on watching the videos. It's always a comfort zone. Trust me, your mind will keep on telling you, okay, yaar, abhi to kuch aata nahi hai, just keep on watching the videos. But it's always important to do the hands-on. It's always important to solve problems on your own. Okay, then is the only time when you will feel more comfortable in solving the problems. Okay. Great. So I think this is pretty much it, guys, from today. I hope you enjoyed the session. So tomorrow we're going to meet at the same time, 10 p.m. and then we're going to be doing a few of the remaining data frame functionality. So we'll cover the functions, some of the remaining functions on data frame tomorrow. Same time, 10 p.m. guys. Okay. Okay, so YouTube पे जो bootcamp होगा महेश, I think you should be able to see. Let me check and come back to you on this. It should be pretty much available for the bootcamp. Okay, but for the Zoom link, I think I need to give you that update maybe tomorrow in tomorrow's class. I'll just quickly check that. How can you get that link? Right, so it's still pretty much with the ops, but I can get you that information. Okay. Great. So I'll definitely give you the details of the bootcamp. It's starting from day after tomorrow. This bootcamp for 5 days. I'll share you the respective links and the details in tomorrow. But again, you can pretty much see the promotion on YouTube. So you can pretty much find that. So 3 days would be on YouTube. Last 2 days would be on Zoom. Great. Thank you so much, Mahesh, for such a wonderful word, and thank you so much everybody who's part of our chat. See you tomorrow, same time, 10 p.m. with some other